What kind of movies do you like? Do you like the big giant blockbusters or the smaller independent films? And I say big and small, judging by the money that it costs to produce them. Well, here's 6 of the most expensive movies ever made. What's up, smarty people? It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. This is What Makes You Smarter. In the modern era of blockbuster filmmaking, production budgets have skyrocketed and show few signs of slowing down. The 10th movie in the Fast and Furious franchise, for example, cost $340 million. That's $140 million more than the reported budget for F9, released just 2 years prior in 2021, and almost 10 times the cost of the first Fast and Furious movie, which came out in 2001. It's a staggering amount of money, but modern film budgets, especially blockbusters, routinely pass the $300 million mark. Making a film is a monumental undertaking. You only need to sit through the credits of a major studio movie to see how many people are involved. Costs include the initial script and development, licensing, salaries for the big name players, including the producer, director, and the A-list actors, production costs, and salaries for the hundreds, if not thousands of people involved. And depending on the type of movie, the enormous cost of special effects, and that's before distribution and marketing, which can easily add tens of millions more. Placing a precise figure on the cost of any particular movie is a tricky business, as studios aren't always forthcoming with such information. Trade insiders make educated guesses, but hidden marketing costs, tax breaks, accounting tricks, and conflicting stories mean public information about movie budgets are usually estimated. But the really big movies attract a huge amount of attention, and their gargantuan production budgets give us a fairly good idea of where they rank among the most expensive movies of all time. Here are 6 of the most costly productions, all of which had budgets that far surpassed the $300 million mark. Avengers: Age of Ultron from 2015, $365 million. Upon its release in 2012, The Avengers shattered all box office expectations and solidified the franchise as a true behemoth. 3 years later, its sequel, Age of Ultron, had a lot to live up to. Marvel Studios invested a massive $365 million into the production, in part to pay for the star-studded cast. Robert Downey Jr.'s earnings alone were reported somewhere between $50 million and $80 million. Massive sets, numerous large-scale action sequences, and a boatload of special effects. Age of Ultron had more than 3,000 VFX shots, more than any other film in the Marvel franchise at the time. Made the movie even more expensive. Shooting the film in multiple international locations, including Italy, South Africa, South Korea, the United Kingdom, and Bangladesh, further increased the cost. Despite being the lowest grossing of the Avengers films, Age of Ultron still earned an estimated $1.4 billion. Yo ho ho! Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides from 2011, $379 million. At the time of its release, the 4th installment in the Pirates franchise was the most expensive film ever made, with a total cost of $379 million. Research by Forbes puts its total cost as high as $410.6 million, when not taking into account the tax credit due to the film's production in the United Kingdom. The sky-high costs could be chalked up to various factors, including the need to capture scenes at sea, the use of full-scale ships, multiple shooting locations in Hawaii, the UK, Puerto Rico, and California, extravagant special effects, and shooting in 3D, plus Johnny Depp's salary alone was reported to have been $55 million. Despite mixed reviews, the movie earned more than $1 billion globally. Back to the Avengers. Avengers Endgame 2019, $400 million. Avengers Endgame was the direct sequel to Avengers Infinity War from 2018. And, take a deep breath, the 22nd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No one knows quite how much Endgame cost, but estimates have it somewhere between $350 million and $400 million, most likely falling toward the higher end of that range. As with other Marvel Studios movies, the enormous ensemble cast, near unprecedented visual effects work, and the logistical challenges of coordinating such an enormous production at multiple international locations all added up to make it one of the most expensive movies of all time. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny from 2023, $402 million. Walt Disney Studios hasn't been particularly forthcoming with the finances involved in making the fifth and supposedly final installment in the Indiana Jones film series, especially because the movie was a financial disappointment. According to Screen Rant, Dial of Destiny had a budget of $387.2 million, while Forbes has the figure as high as $402 million. The film made $384 million at the box office, with Disney's box office losses reportedly equating $134.2 million. Studios receive around half of theaters' takings. The movie's high production costs were partly due to the extensive digital de-aging effects for Harrison Ford, which significantly increased the special effects budget. But the biggest factor was filming during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, which required costly safety protocols at every level of production. Have you seen this one? Avatar: The Way of Water from 2022, $460 million. Director James Cameron has always been known for pushing the boundaries of filmmaking. His long-awaited sequel to Avatar was no exception, with groundbreaking visual effects technology, including revolutionary underwater motion capture techniques and the development of a neural network-based facial system to help blue-skinned humanoid Na'vi characters appear in photorealistic quality. The movie was ambitious, to say the least, and such high ambitions come with a cost. In this case, a reported $460 million, but the investment paid off. The movie grossed more than $2.3 billion worldwide, making it just the sixth movie in history to reach the $2 billion mark. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Star Wars: The Force Awakens from 2015, $533 million. The return of the Star Wars saga to the big screen was hugely anticipated and came with a massive price tag to match. As a Star Wars movie, the production naturally involved numerous practical sets and props, as well as cutting-edge visual effects, all of which ramped up costs. Extensive location shooting in Abu Dhabi, Iceland, Ireland, and the UK also added to the tally. Harrison Ford was paid between $10 and $20 million, while Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill earned somewhere in the low seven-figure range. Disney Studios also invested heavily in marketing, eager to ensure the franchise relaunch was a success. All of this added up to a total production budget of an estimated $533.2 million, but it was worth the expenditure. The Force Awakens quickly broke records, making more money in a single day than any other movie to that point. It continued to break numerous box office records and went on to gross more than $2 billion worldwide. What's your favorite movie? Was it on this list? Do you even go to the movies anymore? People have big screen TVs and streaming services. It takes a lot to get me up out of my chair and away from my big screen and out to the theater, but I do appreciate the shared experience of watching a big movie or even a little movie, any movie, with your friends and family. Let me know what the last movie you saw was out in the theater. Stick around for more. This has been What Makes You Smarter. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.